Hey YouTube, Common Collector here, and today I am very excited to bring you guys my first place deck profile for my locals Rage of the Abyss premiere event. We just hosted that today. We had a really great turnout. We almost got to be able to do 5 rounds, but we ended up just limiting out at 4 rounds. But I had some really great challenging matchups. This profile is going to have a few changes from my previous list, so definitely stay for the extra deck and the side deck. I do not have the mat. I sold my mat to a friend who lives about an hour away, so I wish I could have been showing off this with the mat, but he had to get going, and I sold him the mat before he took off, but I did want to show you guys I will be doing a booster box opening, probably going to be hitting up the channel tomorrow, but also just wanted to show you guys really quickly this awesome display dealio that I got. I got to figure out what other 12 cards are going to go in here, but as you guys can see front and center, I do have my 10,000 Dragon. Very happy that I got this thing. I'm going to lift up the camera a little bit. But yeah, this was a raffle drawing out at my locals. So I felt okay that I got rid of my mat because I was happy enough just to get that display case. So just a really great day, great turnout, and was super happy with how this deck performed. So yeah, like I said, make sure to stay for the extra deck and the side deck because we're going to have a couple really cool changes. My matchups, like I said, I went 4-0. But my matchups were Live Twin Runic, which was like fairly challenging. That was a really cool matchup. Shout out to my friend Peter, who I played against. Very fun matchup. Absolutely love Live Twins, as you guys know. I played up against Ancient Gears in the second round, which was fairly easy for me to get around. So Ancient Gears wasn't too big of an issue. But rounds 3 and 4 were the real challenge, where I played against Purely, which really was one of the first big matchups I've ever actually played against a Purely deck. This deck, the extra deck, just totally was able to work around it, which was amazing because of oh my gosh, Underworld Goddess, one of my just absolute favorite cards, just being able to work around the Noir. And then also my last matchup was against Snake Eyes Fiendsmith with also a Tenpai engine inside. Just a very small, minimal Tenpai engine, but the deck was performing really well for Luke all day. Against me, it still just did really amazing, but I was able to take the win. But anyways, let's get into the profile. We're going to make this one quick, so if you guys need a little bit more explanation, you guys can check out my other deck profiles on the channel. I have 2 very recent profiles for this one, but I wanted to get this out so you guys can sort of see my new ratios. But we are playing the 3 basic machine rituals that we need for the deck, along with Big Daddy. He came in with the milk hard today. Daddy is back with the milk. Just absolutely love him. This card did perform so well for me today. Then we're playing 3 copies of Big Booby Ben 10. You need to play the Lost Art. This is just the best version to play. This is the strongest and most value bang for your buck Ben 10 you're going to be getting. Then we're going to be playing 3 copies of the new 2. Absolutely love this card. Just overperformed today, just being able to add consistency to the deck. 3 copies of Alpha, 3 copies of Zeta. Funny story, just really quickly, in my final matchup, in game 2, I ended up opening 3 Zeta, the Mu Beta Fafnir, or sorry, the Fafnir Field Spell, and then 1 copy of Drytron Nova. So I literally had access to basically 2 Nova and 3 Zeta, and I was like, yep, let's just go straight to game 3. There was just absolutely no way I was going to crack through his board. So you do still brick with this a little bit here and there, but I was still able to squeak the win there. So we have 1 copy of Gamma, 1 copy of Delta, 1 copy of Beta Rastaban. Honestly, after today, I'm kind of considering cutting him, but, you know, just for the fact that we still banish quite a bit of stuff, and I played up against a couple Runic, I played against the Runic Live Twin earlier, like I said, and there's just a few other Runics in my locals, to where I feel like I still want to play the Rastaban, just for getting back stuff that's banished, and then also because my dad banishes. Then we're playing the 1 copy of the Ursartron Alpha, 2 copies of Diviner. Again, I still just don't play the Vanity's Fiend, just because I just don't, Vanity's Ruler, because I just don't think that I really need it. I feel like I can just put up enough negates anyways, but still, it's a very good card. I would still consider it. 3 copies of Nova, 2 copies of Fafnir. Love this card, just being able to modulate my opponent's levels. It came up a little bit today. Our 1 copy of the Medionis Drytron, 3 copies of Cyber Emergency, 3 copies of Droplet. This card also did very well today. Love having it in the main deck. 1 copy of Foolish Burial, Called by the Grave, Instant Fusion. Nothing's really changed around here. And then we're getting into 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence and our 1 copy of Magic Key Unlocking to go with our Beto Buster. So that's going to do it for the main deck here, guys. So that's 40 cards, super solid. Let's get on to the extra deck really quickly. We're playing the 2 copies of Mu Beta Fafnir. There's 1 card that I would still consider cutting in here to be able to maybe play the 3 cards in the main, but it never came up that I needed the 3rd copy today, and it just really hasn't come up at other locals or in testing. So even though if you go full hard combo, you're going to end with 1 of these in the graveyard and 1 on the field just for that spell trap negate. So you're going to burn through 2 of them if you go first going full combo, but if you go full combo, your opponent's not going to break through your board, and you're not going to need that 3rd beta anyways, the 3rd Fafnir. We have our 1 copy of Fuko. This card actually did come up a couple times today. In the live twin matchup, I got hit with the Nightmare Griffin lock, which was amazing. I went into him to stall for a turn because I was also drolled that turn. So I was playing through a droll and a Griffin lock, was able to stall with Fuko, and then on the next turn just was able to have enough gas to just power through because he basically went into Griffin and there was nothing else for him to really recur or do there. Sprite, Runic, Live Twin, overall they should be able to get to enough resources, but he just couldn't, and Fuko was able to buy me a turn. 1 copy of Downer Magician, 1 copy of Zeus. Then getting on into the links, we have 1 copy of Anima, IP Masquerena, Dynamondo, finally the new addition to the deck, SP Little Knight, now that it got its reprint and the price has gone down just a little bit. Very cool. And also love seeing this card get its rarity bump too. Dynamondo, this card just was absolutely amazing. It's really fun when you're playing up against people who don't know how this deck works. You go for the 2 negates with your dad, then you get out the Dynamondo, and then they see that you're about to get 2 more monster negates, and they realize, oh, me playing through this turn was useless because I opened with 4 monsters in my hand, and you have 4 monster negates. It's sad, but it's also just really cool. We're playing the 1 copy of the Moon. This is the easiest flex spot in the extra deck, so if there's anything that you're considering playing, if you want to play that 3rd Fafnir or anything else, this is the card that you can replace. But the 1 card in the extra deck that overperformed today, like I said, I was playing up against that Griffin. This allowed me to be able to link away to go into the Griffin, which was insane. Just being able to get rid of him, especially because he had IP Masquerena's protection from being destroyed by card effects, so I couldn't really destroy it by card effects or anything. So just being able to link it away was insane. And then obviously when I went against Pearly, this is just the best card to have against Noir. So basically it got to the point where I was just able to get 4 bodies on the board, and I knew I was just going straight for Underworld Goddess. We have Millennium Eyes Restrict, and then for our targets for our Diviner, we have Herald, and we have our Elder Entity Natis. And then lastly, we have our F.A. Don Dragster. This card just being another really great spell trap negate is just insane. So that's going to do it for the extra. Getting on into the side really quickly, playing 3 copies of D-Barrier. This is just your easiest card to side into when you're playing up against Tenpai. This card is just insane because, there's Tenpai and a few other decks out there playing Heat Wave and whatnot. You just kind of need cards like D-Barrier that you're going to be able to set this, and then when they go in on their turn, if you have hand traps or whatever, anything else, D-Barrier is going to be able to stop them going through their synchro plays or whatever other decks are out there. For our board breakers, we're playing 3 copies of Lava Golem, 3 copies of Evenly Matched. I'm very heavily sided for going second because mainly we can set up a really nice going first board. So we got the Evenly Matched, we have the Lightning Storms, 2 copies of Triple Tactics Thrust for if we want to search. We can also, if we're going first, we can thrust, search for that D-Barrier, and then still lock our opponent out, even though our opponent doesn't have out any other monsters. 1 copy of Triple Tactics Talent. This is what probably won me the tournament. And then our 1 copy of Natasha. She just didn't really come up today, but the talent, absolutely insane. I had this 1 of in my hand on the final duel. My opponent went out and he hit me with Magnamut on my new 2. I was able to talent, spin. Like I said, he had a Tenpai engine in his Snake Eyes deck. I was able to put the Sangan Kaiman back into his deck, and then I was able to just negate him through my dad, F.A. Don Dragster on the board, along with IP Masquerena. There just wasn't anything that he could do. I had just enough interruptions to do there, so yeah, this extra deck, the side deck, everything was just absolutely perfect today. So anyways, guys, that is going to do it for my deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. It's been really, really great experimenting with this deck ever since New 2 came out. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. If you guys are new to the channel, please subscribe if you guys haven't already. And just keep an eye out for that Rage of the Abyss box opening coming up. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.